Bhagavad Gita, Gita Mahatmya, Chapter 13. Lord Shiva said, O Parvati, please hear the unlimited glories of the 13th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, by hearing which you will become very happy. In the south, there was a very large river of the name Tungabhadra, on the banks of which there is a very beautiful town of the name Hariharpur. There, the deity of Lord Shiva, known by the name Harihar, is worshipped. One who has his darshan attains auspicious things. In Hariharpur lived one Brahman by the name of Hari Dikshit, who was very learned and lived a simple, austere life. His wife was called Durachara by the people. The reason for this was due to her low-class activities. She would always speak to her husband in abusive language, and she had never slept with him. She was always rude to her husband's friends, and she would keep company with other men to satisfy her lusty desires. She was also addicted to taking various kinds of intoxicants. Seeing that the town was becoming more and more populated, she constructed a small structure in the forest where she could meet her lovers. One night, feeling very lusty and not having been able to find any lover to satisfy her lust, she went out into the forest to her meeting place to see if any of her lovers were there. Not finding anyone at that place and burning up with lust, she started to wander in the forest in the hope of finding someone to satisfy her lusty desires. After having wandered for some time and finding that her body, senses, and mind were paining so much due to not being able to satisfy their lust, she became bewildered and sat down and started to cry. Hearing the sound of her crying, one hungry tiger who was sleeping woke up and reached that place very quickly. Hearing the tiger coming, the lusty woman got up and thinking to herself that surely someone is coming who would satisfy her needs, she all of a sudden saw a tiger arrive in front of her. He was about to rip her apart with his sharp claws. At that time, the lusty woman addressed the tiger. "O tiger, why have you come here to kill me? First, you must tell me this, and then you can kill me." That king of animals refrained from killing Durachara and laughed. Then he related the following story. In the south, there is a river of the name Malapaha, on the bank of which is the town of Muniparna. At that place, there is a famous deity of Lord Shiva, known as Panchalinga. In that town, I had taken birth in a Brahman family. Although I had taken such a high birth, I was still very greedy and had no control over my senses. I used to sit on the banks of the river and perform sacrifices for those people who were not qualified to partake in such performances. I would also eat from the homes of materialistic people. I would also collect more funds than necessary in the name of performing sacrifices and worship for the deity, and use the same for my own sense gratification. I would also criticize those Brahmins who were strictly following the regulative principles, and I would never give charity to anyone. Slowly, I became old. My hair turned white. My teeth fell out. my eyes became weak, but even still, I did not lose my lust to collect and hoard more funds. One day, by mistake, I went to the house of some Brahmins who were very cruel and expert at cheating to beg some food. When they set the dogs on me, one of those dogs bit my leg and I fell over and very quickly died. After that, I attained this tiger's body and I am living in this dangerous forest. Fortunately, I am able to remember my last birth, and in this birth, I do not attack any devotee, sannyasi, or chaste lady. Only those sinful people and unchaste women I take as my food. As you are the most unchaste and sinful woman, you will definitely become my lunch. After the tiger had finished his narration, he devoured that sinful woman. Thereafter, the Yamdutas threw her into the hell, which is a lake full of stool, urine, and blood. And she had to stay in that filthy place for 10 million kalps. After that, she was thrown into the hell known as Raurav, where she stayed for 100 manvantaras, after which she again took birth on earth as a female Chandal. Again, she lived in the same sinful way as she had previously. Due to her sinful activities, she got leprosy and also tuberculosis. By chance and good fortune, she once went to the holy place of Hariharpur and close to the temple of Jambaka Devi, Parvati, she saw the great saint Vasudev, who was always reciting the 13th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad GEETA. From his mouth, she heard that recitation and, becoming attracted, she heard it again and again. And by that hearing, she was able to give up that body of a Chandal and becoming completely free from the reactions of her past sinful activities. She attained a four-armed form similar to Lord Vishnu and she was taken to Vaikuntha.